Humans of the cardboard. Huge drop of news tonight. We move forward with infinite forbidden reveals. Tonight we have a brand new archetype called White Woods. That's basically all I know. I've looked at the artworks here. Just based off the artwork, I think it is possible. I saw that they were all light based, so I was like, is this a new light fiend archetype to pair nicely with the fiendsmith stuff? I don't know. I haven't looked at any of that stuff, but that was just the first thing that came to mind that I thought would make sense from Konami's standpoint. Oh, no, Spellcaster. But anyway, let's get into it. Brand new archetype. Let's see where we go. All right, first off, we start with Asteria of the White Woods. This is another cute girl archetype. You know, Konami grinds with that all day. Level 2 light spellcaster, 0/0 for the stats. Level 2 for sprite, potentially. I don't know. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. You can send one spell or trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon a light spellcaster tuner from your deck. Okay, so I'm very curious to see what kind of continuous spell or traps they might have and how easily they place them. If we're looking at an archetype that kind of functions similarly to something like why can I not remember what they're called? The new ritual archetype. Literally the Voice's Voice. Jeez. You know, and they just place these continuous spells face up super easily. That could be something. We'll see though. But yeah, just summoning any light spellcaster tuner. I don't know if there's anything that already fits that description, but I'm assuming there's going to be stuff here, but we'll see. Also, this is giving me Synchro vibes, which is cool. Then secondly, if a spell or trap card is sent to your graveyard to activate a monster effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Ooh, very cool. So I'm assuming there may be some vibes where you're able to send something to summon a tuner from deck, you synchro this off with the monster you summon, then later on you send another spell or trap to activate a different, maybe it's one of the synchros this deck has access to, maybe it's a different monster you may be getting access to really easily, and then this card comes back for an additional extension piece later on. I think that's a pretty good card, honestly. You do send for cost, but you know, as long as the spell and traps have value engraved, which I would imagine an archetype that starts like this would do, I don't think that's a big deal. Alright, next up, we have Rosette of the White Woods. That's her. Cool, cute, everyone's gonna love that. Another level 2 light spellcaster, 0/0 for the stats again. First and second effects, hard ones per turn. You can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, then add one White Woods monster from your deck to your hand. Wow, all one effect. So that means that whole effect is ashable, which is important to note. But still interesting. This one's also not a tuner, so this is not one of the summonable targets off of the first monster. Second effect, if a light spellcaster tuner is special summoned to your field during your opponent's turn. Ooh, we're quick syncing on the opponent's turn. That's cool. While this card is engraved, you can add this card to your hand. Yo! Hopefully that's just a standard setup this deck does every single time, is set up a way to quick synchro on the opponent's turn. That way this card is basically adding itself back every single turn, which means if you just have access to any spell or trap on hand or field, this card is hopefully I would assume a one-card play. I would hope it's a one-card play. On the following turn. So that's cool. That's a decent extender / starter card. Alright, next up we move to Sylve of the White Woods. Oh, she's got cool fox friends, I guess. She's a level 4 light spellcaster tuner. Finally a tuner, so I'm guessing 6s are going to be on the docket for the synchros. 1500 attack, 200. Whoa! 1500 attack, 200 defense. Isn't that the exact stat line that the Charmer cards kind of vibe with? Don't the Charmer cards have cards that work exactly with spellcasters that are 1500 attack, 200 defense? I don't know exactly what those cards do, but that's definitely something I want to take a look at now that I see that on here, but we'll see. Okay, 2 hard ones return effects. If this card is normal or special summoned, add a Whitewood spell or trap from deck to hand. I mean, we've got ourselves a Rhoda, we've got ourselves, I guess, like a Stratos, an E-Telly, and a, you know, or I guess you call this tour guide. Maybe tour guide's a better description. Tour guide, a Stratos, and we got ourselves, I guess, another Stratos. Cool. I mean, we got to see how good the spell and traps are, but that's another +1 card. Pretty good. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, target a Whitewood synchro you control or in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but its effects are negated. Okay, so this card can summon itself back on the opponent's turn. by putting one of your synchro, your Whitewood synchros back, hopefully that's not too much of a drawback, I guess, but it does put you a tuner on field. Its effects are negative 2, so you wouldn't be able to summon it and search in the same turn. It's interesting. What was the point of making this both effects hard ones per turn when, like, this one's only on the opponent's turn? Oh, no, this is on your turn, too. Oh, okay, this is on your turn. Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking on your opponent's turn. So this is actually kind of interesting because you could put this in grave and then, like, to potentially dodge interaction on your synchro monsters. This can put something back, summon itself back, still a tuner. So if you're getting value off a synchro, boom, you're going to do another synchro from there. That's definitely cool. I mean, definitely a nice little bonus effect that we have to look into these stats and how they intermingle with some of those charmer cards. Okay, and the last one here from, I believe, the main deck monsters is a little knight sorceress girl. This is Richia of the White Woods, level 4 light spellcaster, another tuner. So these are the 2 tuners. I'm glad there's 2 and not just 1. Because if there was only 1, sometimes you end up in situations where you're like, is this deck playable yet? Do we need a second wave? Because there's just not enough, but that could be enough. Okay, 3 hard ones per turn effects. If you control a White Woods monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. Not bad. Nice tuner extender, easy tuner extender, which you can just search off of this girl and then summon and then go straight into a 6. That's pretty cool. You can send 1 spell or trap from hand or field to the graveyard to draw 1 card. Also pretty plus. Nice. And then if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, target a Whitewood Synchro, return it to the extract, and if you do, special summon this card. If you do, its effects are negated. Again, we need to check up. We need to see these synchro monsters and see just like what the vibe of these are. Maybe some of the spell or traps have the effect where, like, if a synchro is returned to the extra deck, they get you a plus from grave kind of thing. But we'll see. Okay, yeah, I mean, honestly, all 4 solid cards. I think all 4 would see play at this point if the deck is any kind of good. Let's see how the extra deck goes. So we start off here with a Synchro 6, of course. Got a bigger wolf, and this looks like a bigger version of the first level 4 tuner we looked at, which is Sylv. This looks like a bigger version of Sylv. Okay, Silvera, Witch Wolf of the White Woods. Cool names. Level 6 light spellcaster, Synchro tuner. 1900 attack, 2400 defense. It is completely generic. Any tuners and non-tuners can make this, so maybe there are other engines that you could get vibing in here for sure. If this card is special summoned, you can change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. That's pretty strong, especially if, like we mentioned earlier, we are able to quick synchro on the opponent's turn consistently. That is, I mean, people already. There are fringe decks out there where, like, they say like Daruma Karma Cannon's like insane. You resolve one, it feels like a really broken interaction because it can almost buy. It's one of those few interactions in all of Yu-Gi-Oh where, like, sometimes one interruption isn't ever enough, but that's one of those few cards where, like, it's sometimes enough by itself. All right, second effect, illusion and spellcaster synchro monsters illusions. There are going to be some illusions in here. You control gain 500 attack. Also, if they attack a defense mission monster, inflict double piercing battle damage. Wow, so that includes itself. It appears here. So he's 2400 with double piercing damage, and he's a tuner to help you climb into something else. Okay, cool. That's a nice little bonus effect, but obviously the main effect is this one. Not an engine synchro, but a decent synchro, and even playing into boards. That's a pretty threatening effect for what I would assume is one of your early synchros you go into. So even going second, being able to threaten this is pretty good. All right, cool. Next up, we have Archetype, which is the Richiella, which is the last monster we looked at, the knight-looking spellcaster girl. Bigger form of her, Richiella, Wicked of the White Woods, level 6 light spellcaster tuner, of course, 2000 attack, 1500 defense, again, completely generic. You can only use the first effect once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can send 1 spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard to add a White Woods card or 1 light spellcaster monster from your deck to your hand. Any light spellcaster. That is a little bit more versatile. That even adds something like Dogmatica Ecclesia into the mix. Or even, you could even go straight for the 8, what's his name? Dogmatica Maximus, and then send some stuff from extract, get a bunch of pluses. That's pretty spicy. Okay. Or any White Woods card. Cool. Again, with all these effects, they need to send a spell or trap. We really need to see those and see if they're worth it. Illusion and spellcaster synchros you control gain 500 attack. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Cool. Yeah, like this is a nice little fun bonus effect. But this seems more like this one seems more like an engine like stepping stone synchro, so I don't think that one means that much overall. Next up we have Diabel Fiendus of the White Woods. This looks to be the final synchro so far for this archetype, but again, keep in mind we've seen no locks for this archetype so far at all, which means it is certainly on the table that you can abuse generic 6s, generic 8s, all that stuff as well. So don't sleep on that. Okay, level 8, Light Illusion. This one's Illusion. Synchro Effect Monster, 25, 2000 for the stats, just classic boss monster stats. Completely generic again, so again, certain engines could help you just pump out level 8 synchros with this card, which is cool. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. If this card is synchro summoned using a tuner synchro as material, target a spell or trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand? Literally any spell or trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. That's pretty powerful. Yeah, because I'm assuming most of the time you might as well just synchro climb up through this card. Dang. Okay. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, send a spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon a level 7 or lower tuner synchro from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. Okay, so it doesn't negate, but it does summon any level 7 or lower tuner synchro. So literally any synchro tuner that's level 7 or lower that we can look at, you could literally play because this can plop it out from extra deck, grave, or banish. Now I'm assuming the biggest one we're looking at here is probably Silvera, right? Just being able to plop Silvera and then Book of Moon the whole board, because this is on special, not on synchro. I wonder about, I have to think about tuners. That's the difference, is like, what tuners are we missing here? But that's still really, really interesting. Okay, not the best interruption, but like, I guess it is kind of like a quick book on the opponent's turn already, so not bad. Okay, spells and traps. These are very, very important. These have to have a really good graveyard effect. Okay, Legend of the White Woods, a normal spell. If you can only use the first and second effects of this card each once per turn. If you control an illusion or spellcaster monster, add one White Woods monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I guess the idea is where you actually want to send this first. It's a normal spell, so if you send this first off of one of your starters or something to like get their effects, and then this card sets itself back, yep, assuming you opened it with something, now you'd be able to flip it and activate it, because you would have an illusion or a spellcaster on field and then just search you into one of your other White Woods monsters. That's pretty cool. That's not bad at all. Okay, it's a rota. It's a conditional rota. Like, I would love if this just said add a White Woods monster instead of having to have this stipulation. But, like, I guess I get it when, like, you can use both in the same turns. This card, like, comes back for free every turn kind of thing. Okay, interesting. Not bad, though. Next up, we have Beware the White Woods. This is another normal spell. 2 hard ones per turn effects. If you control a level 6 or higher illusion or spellcaster monster, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. And then same effect on the second effect. If this card is sent to grave by a monster effect, to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. Also interesting, this one to me is hard. It definitely is in one-of territory. Like, it's a card you can get access to because you can send it off something, reset it, and then just immediately fire it to have easy removal. I don't love that you have to have a level 6 or higher. Like, even just having the small ones, you just kind of have to get a little more setup than I'd like. So this one may not even see play, but if it does, it's definitely got one-of written all over it, I would say. Okay. Next up, Quick Play. This could be really strong. Whispers of the Sinful... Whoa! No. I didn't even consider that this was tied into Diabellstar lore. So this is a Sinful Spoils card, which means the Diabellstar engine's cracked in here now. She's a level 7 spellcaster already, which kind of has some synergy, right? That's a level 6 or higher spellcaster to make this card live, which is interesting. But also you have this. Okay, so it depends on what this does, but yeah. Okay, so this is gettable off of Diabellstar. Okay. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. Target one illusion or spellcaster monster you control. Return that monster to the hand/extra deck. Then special summon one illusion or spellcaster monster from your graveyard or banishment. If this card is sent to graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. Not sure about this one. Not super sure about what's going on with this one. Okay. I mean, like, it does bounce to the hand or extra, so, like, bouncing one of your main deck spellcasters just to the hand for follow-up while also reborning something is actually not terrible. Also, there's no level restriction on that, so, like, you could have one of the spellcaster or illusion synchros engrave, like the quick effect Book of Moon guy, and then just summon him on the opponent's turn to just book the whole... Whoa, hold on, I didn't even see that. This guy's not once per turn at all. I didn't even think about that. So this guy's not even once per turn on his book effect, so you could potentially end on her to summon a second one out of the extra, and you could potentially end on, like, any monster that... Like, if this set with any other main deck one, for let's say, on the field. So this one is getting you that main deck one back to hand as follow-up and summoning that one. So yeah, you could have a double full, like, board Book of Moon. Interesting. Or Book of Eclipse, I guess. Okay. Final card here is a trap. This one's going to have to be pretty good. It is a trap, which is not always the best. Obviously, this... Oh, by the way, second effect, same as the other ones, right? Send to the grave for monster effect, set this card. I don't know if I said that or not, because I've already done it a couple times. All right, last one here. Woes of the White Woods. Again, all searchable, so I'm with it. Normal trap, you can only activate the first and second effect once per turn. Special summon a White Woods monster from your hand or deck. Then immediately after this card resolves, synchro summon a White Woods monster. Seems pretty good to me. That's cool. I'm with it. Like, honestly, like, there's not much else to say here. I think this card is just not bad at all. This is... I mean, it's a trap, so it's got one of written all over it. And plus, you already need a monster on your field to make this, like, really work. Because, like, if you want to get that synchro effect, you do need to already have a monster you can synchro with it. But still, it's still decent value and gives you the ability to either make any of the 3 synchros, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, same effect. If this card is sent to graveyard to activate a monster effect, set this card back. So, all in all, it's hard to get a good grasp. It seems like a lot of cards in this archetype, I would say, are decently fair at this point in time. But I don't think it's garbage by any means. I mean, there's some decent stuff we're doing here. It looks like it has plenty of consistency, I would say. Well, the question here is that, like, the Diabell Star stuff doesn't actually get your engine started, so that's definitely one of those things to keep in mind when you look at that. So that, like, you know what I mean, like, even though it has the Sinful Spoils synergy, it doesn't get this engine started, so that is not a guarantee in the deck whatsoever. You do, however, have, and I'm kind of disappointed that the spell's not a full-on starter either, but the monsters are, for the most part, like, all starters, for the most part. This one's a starter, it appears. This one's a starter. If you open it with, I guess, you know, literally any spell or trap technically makes it a starter, but any of the better ones, even better. And this one's also a starter. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm fully there, or maybe what it is I just don't know what engine would work the best with this off the top of my head. I mean, I'm kind of thinking a little bit about Punk already, because I think they can make 8s and 6s. I think they can make 6s. Are all their 3s tuners? Can't remember off the top of my head. Trying to think just like what other synchro engines would just be good in here to support, like, kind of what we already have going on. But there's definitely potential here for sure. I don't think it's going to be amazing out the gate. I'm not blown away here, but no restriction, just some decent extra deck monsters. In fact, I think this card could absolutely come up completely generically, like, straight up, right? Just like summoning this into boards, decks that can quick effect summon these on the opponent's turn. Like, that's scary. Also, this is a spellcaster, which means if you can make this, then make Celine with enough spells engraved, Celine can, like, quick effect summon this on the opponent's turn to book their board. That's kind of spicy too, for sure. So, yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. This is definitely a really, really interesting archetype so far. It's kind of hard to put it all together. Like I said, Dogmatica kind of has some sense here, just because light spellcaster, there's some synergy. But I'd have to see someone messing around with it. I'd have to play around with the deck before we actually got into any of that stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm at here. Thank you so much for watching as always, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below here. Where do you land on this archetype? Are they, you know, tell me where you think they fall for you. For me, they seem like a cool rogue deck, but this is only the first wave. We're going to expect support in the next and probably the set after that. So that can always change the world for archetypes like these. And it's a cute girl archetype, which means Konami's probably going to give it what it deserves. Let's be honest. So I'm out of here. But thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.